welcome to another edition of the SportSport. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the SportSport here on a Feel Good Friday. It is the Barnes and Tony show once again. And then some random stranger, I guess, is going to be videoing in later in the show. So Tony and Michael wanted to get me riled for that one. So I guess we'll see who it is. Supposedly it's not Jay. So
do you want it to be Jay?
I mean, if he's going to be honest, or is he just going to make up about being a Mets fan? You know,
I did see in the comments yesterday. I didn't really tune into the show, but I did see.
There was a misspelling.
I mean, what do you expect, though? Come on, dude.
But he can't name 10. He said at work right now. But it's like, it doesn't matter if you're at work right now. You're not looking anything up, Jay. So, I mean, come on. What are we really talking about here? Anyhow, what's going on, man?
Not much, dude. I'm definitely pumped to be here. Gonna be a great weekend, great Friday. Unfortunate loss. We'll be recapping again with the Rangers, I'm sure. But yeah, it's gonna be cool to, we have a little special guest coming in to the show. He should be in here any minute, I guess. But yeah, dude, I think you'll
any minute.
Time. Yeah. I mean, he was in here actually. I don't know. You didn't see him in the stream before, but I was like, why don't you come in afterwards? A surprise. Michael's very adamant about a surprise.
Oh my God, surprise!
Don't tell Brian.
Well, I mean, it's basically not a surprise because you did tell me. You know what I mean? I know it's not right who it is, but I'm just expecting it. So it's like, do I get started? Do I wait?
Well,
do
it's
we go
not
to Michael
Jason. And also, I mean, you were thinking athlete already. I don't want you to be disappointed. It's not like Aaron Judge joins the show.
I wasn't thinking Aaron Judge, but I don't know. Maybe like shoe basketball captain or something. I don't know.
A shoe basketball captain. I can work on that one for you, Brian.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. But I guess while we're waiting with bated breath on that, Tony, Michael Buckeye, I think, has like 10 comments.
Oh, boy. Okay, all right. Michael Buckeye actually does say only 2 losses in his bracket yesterday. Damn, dude. Clemson, Kansas really effed it up, he says.
And for me, it was Clemson and UC San Diego, who stormed back, took the lead late. That one hurt. I had them going to the Sweet 16. But leading the TCA bracket for now. We'll see if that has any ability to hold, but let's go.
Dude. He also says, anyway, let's go Huskies tonight, dude.
Huskies tonight.
Well, that's going to be a good game tonight, no doubt, dude. He says also, we need to terminate Iron Eagle from calling Final Four games because his voice sounds very annoying. Parody says, screw him. We need Jim Nantz, dude.
Yeah, Michael, I mean, we've talked about this before, but he has a tough time, like, letting go. It's like, yes, big Nantz guy. Definitely think he did like a better job, but there's nothing like you don't have to hate on Iron Eagle. Like he still does a good job. No one's gonna be Nance, but that's okay, Michael. It doesn't need to be like the full outrage and not watching because of it. Like let's just take a pause there for a second.
Yeah, Eagle's all right, dude.
Yeah, he's fine. It's not like.
And then he says, the UConn. Let's shock the world in the tourney, dude. Do you really think it'll be that shocking?
If they make like a deep run, yes, because 10 losses. I mean, losing to Seton Hall.
Yeah, that's true.
Just 4 more losses in the last 2 years combined. I mean, yeah, it would be.
And then Michael Buckton here, just kind of going on a little bit about Nance, March Madness, and then specifically attacking Eagle, who is embarrassing.
Yeah, just settle, Michael. You'd say that about anybody. Just relax.
And he's Michael Theofil says, "You're gonna be pumped, Brian. I'm telling you."
Well, where are they? I thought they were in the stream. They're not in the stream.
Well, I just told the guest that they can hop in really after I read Theofil's comments. He'll hop in any time, dude. Anytime. So he'll be popping in, dude. Don't be so nervous, Brian.
No, I don't know. It's just I feel like it was a little like you should have just not said anything. I think that was where you went wrong, and Michael will attest to this. Like, you should have just put, we have someone in, go. Like, you know what I mean? Instead of like, right before, tell you. So then you're thinking about who it is, what's going on here, when is it happening. You know what I mean? It just mental flow, Tony. True professional like yourself. I'm surprised.
Honestly, I think it's creating some great content, dude. And here he is right now, dude, joining the show, dude.
I had a feeling
he had no idea. He had no idea.
Yes, I did.
He had no idea, dude.
What's going on, Gino?
What's up, Ryan? What's up? How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. You know, it was a pretty, crazy day of March Madness yesterday. How's your bracket looking?
It was a bad start. It was a very bad start. But we picked it up towards the end of the day. I lost like 4 of the first 6.
Oh, wow.
Jesus. What the hell, Gino?
Were going for some crazy upsets? That's what happens?
I picked High Point and Clemson. So that. And then.
Louisville. Okay.
Yeah, I had Louisville. Well, I got two analysts. Because the analysts were like, Louisville's underseeded, and they're playing in Lexington.
Yeah. For me, seeing a lot of Creighton against UConn this year, I just figured like, they're pretty good. So that was kind of just my thought. And then also with the ACC being, down this year, the least amount of bids since 2013 or something. So that was why we went with Creighton. They really just manhandled them. And I was really disappointed. I didn't stay up to watch because it was too late, but I was so high on UC San Diego. They're getting blown out in the first half, and then I was listening. I didn't even get to see the highlights, but I just saw the end. They missed a 3-pointer to tie, and they had came storming back to take the lead in the second half. So I had them in the Sweet 16. So it was that game, and then the Clemson game were my only 2 misses of the day. Overall, I think it was a great game. And even the Clemson game late, for them to come back, I was like, this is one of the most embarrassing performances of all time. And what was it, 13 points in the first half?
Yeah, it was bad. You're right. I was shocked that they scored 13 points. And then Gonzaga was up like 27-3 or whatever.
Yes.
on Georgia. I was like, this is really, really, really bad.
And I don't know if Tony, in our bracket, because I know I did it in mine. Did we win Gonzaga in the Final Four?
Gonzaga Final Four.
Yeah, that was like the one thing that stretch thing I went, and obviously, they were top 10 earlier this season, unranked. But I feel like they have a really good team, and obviously that was evident yesterday. And I don't know. I think Houston's really good, and I don't know if it's just kind of going by past performances. I think they made one Final Four with Kelvin Sampson, but they've lost early too. So that was the one that is like a stretch that I went for is Gonzaga making it to the Final Four.
What do I have? I had Clemson going to the Elite Eight as the different pick or whatever. So that was obviously difficult. But other than that, I was basically shocked the rest of the way. So it was so hard to pick against the 1 seeds just because the 1 seeds they're so good. A lot of the 1 seeds are so good. So I had a hard time picking against them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my one I guess different pick, and it was it clearly did not work out.
Yeah. I mean, I always try to do 2 1 seeds and then maybe a 2 or a 3 and then a lower seed, because we only had that one time, I think in 2008, where they had all 4 number 1 seeds go. So that's what I always try to do. I mean, obviously it's still hard to be accurate that way, but just we've seen all these big seeds lose early in the tournament. It seems like it happens every year, and I who knows? I mean, maybe it'll happen today.
There was a couple ones that I was I thought about picking Louisville over Auburn just because Auburn's been struggling. I thought about Gonzaga over Houston, because you're right. I mean, I think once in the last 20 years or something like that, all ones have gone to the Final Four. So it's not like it's going to happen. I have 3 1s, and then I have Tennessee, which was a little bit closer than I would have liked last night before they started to pull away, But yeah, that's my Final Four is everybody but Houston in the 1 section, and then Tennessee out of Houston's bracket.
And I think we were Tony, Duke, Auburn, St. John's, and Gonzaga, right? And then
St. John's and Duke moving on.
Which is that was a tough one. Like I went with St. John's just because I don't know. It just feels like completing the story, like Tino in the comeback. But I do think overall, like Duke is a better team, but that doesn't mean that St. John's can't step up and play better.
Yeah, I mean, we got St. John's winning, so I mean,
yeah. But I'm saying that was my thought. Like I think this year they've shown Duke is I don't know. I almost think they're the best team in the country, really.
I do too. I have Duke winning it all. I think Duke is the best team in the country, which I don't want to believe, but I would prefer if they weren't. If you asked me 2 weeks ago, there was no chance I wasn't taking Auburn to win it all. But the way Auburn's been playing like the last 2-3 weeks has been rough, and so I have Duke winning it all. I wanted to pick the Johnnies, but I also felt like I was being biased, so that's why I didn't pick the Johnnies to go to the Final Four. I also don't love the way they play on offense. Then not shooting the three shooting the three as poorly as they shoot the three feels like a big no-no, and typically how I pick my bracket. So I stayed away from them for that reason in the Final Four.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I honestly, the biggest thing for me, it's not even player related, but just Pitino. That was just my whole thought there. And even for them, I mean, it was a lot of threes, and obviously they're playing Omaha. I mean, no one's going to be close to as low of an opponent as that the rest of the way for them. But they did make 14 threes last night, and even started out terrible. A few minutes, end up rallying to take that first half lead, and then double them up in the second half. But do you think Arkansas is going to give them some trouble? I guess tomorrow they're going to play, right?
Yeah. I think it's interesting. I mean, I think we all wanted Calipari versus Pitino, right? I mean, I think that was the coaching matchup we wanted out of that one. Although Bill Self would have been fun too. But I think it's going. I had some thoughts about possibly picking Arkansas over St. John's. I think they could give them some trouble. I worry the fact that Arkansas, I think their leading scorer is out, and Boogie, who is their second leading scorer, is like unlimited minutes or whatever. So they did well against Kansas yesterday. Kansas, obviously, as we know, is not the Kansas of what we've seen in the past. So, can't read too much into that. I think it might be close in the beginning. I think the Johnnies will probably pull away for like a 10, 12-point victory in the end. But I do think Arkansas will give them a little bit of a run for their money, and I think it will be decently close for most of the game. But I think at the end of the day, St. John's is a better team overall, and they're prepared for this moment.
Yeah, no, and he was talking about it. I was listening on the radio on the way in, just how the size that they have, size and athleticism, that combination that St. John's, hasn't seen this year. And he was just talking about his respect for Calipari, obviously them coaching against each other a lot, in the Louisville, Kentucky days. And really too, that Arkansas Kansas game was a really good game. I mean, it seemed like, Arkansas, it was very close, but it seemed like they had the upper hand. But then Kansas, I don't know if it was like an 8-0 run, something like towards the end of the game. It seemed like all of a sudden, I think they were even up like a 3-4, something like that. And then all of a sudden they just fell apart. And then Arkansas, just like the rest of the way, just dominated. So that was a really good game as well. Now, for today, any big, upset you kind of have on your mind here?
Let's see. I have to pull up the full schedule, but I'm pretty sure I have one today. I can't remember what it is. I think I have Colorado State over Memphis.
Yeah, we have that one as well.
Yeah, that's the one I have, I think, there. And then I don't think I have any other big upsets. I know I didn't pick like a 14 over 3. So yeah, I think that's my big upset. I think everything else is relatively chalk the rest of the way, maybe like a 10 over a 7, but that's really it. I picked Ole Miss to beat UNC, although a lot of people have been going the other way. Picked Arizona I have New Mexico beating Marquette. That's the other one. And Liberty beating Oregon. Those are my upsets for the day. So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, Oregon typically very good in the tournament, but Liberty is a fun team to watch, and I think they could upset there and even possibly beat Arizona and face Duke in the Sweet 16. But those are my upset picks, I guess, if you want to call them that, for today. But we'll see how it plays out. I'm hoping Maryland plays well. That would be
did we go Grand? I think we went Grand Canyon there, Tony.
Did we actually?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I know. We went North Carolina, the 11 over the 6 Ole Miss.
Yeah, I know we did that. And the Running Rebels, dude.
No, just the Rebels. Yeah. Running Rebels is UNLV, right?
That's right, dude.
Yes.
But it's kind of interesting. You don't usually see this too much, but North Carolina is actually favored by 1.5 now over Ole Miss. 11 seed.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that as well. I don't know. I feel like that probably is a bit of recency bias with how they played against San Diego State. I think we also Ole Miss, they haven't had the season that I'm sure they were hoping to. They're ranked at some points, and I think ultimately finished unranked. But they did have a couple big wins in the SEC tournament, and had some big wins down the stretch. So going a little bit with the SEC bias there, and just thinking that maybe North Carolina had a really good first round or first 4 matchup and dominated that. But this is still the same North Carolina team that has 0 quad 1 wins or 1 quad 1 win prior to this week. So I think that's the other thing that I feel like we're a little bit recency biased, because literally a week ago we were saying how North Carolina didn't deserve to be in the tournament. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think the one thing, and I guess, sure, they weren't quad 1 wins or whatever, but they did start out terribly. Excuse me. In the I think, was that the Tony trying to be funny?
Come on.
Of course it is.
Oh, yeah.
But they did start out terribly in the non-conference, and then kind of rallied. I mean, what they have 13 wins in the ACC, and almost beat Duke there in the ACC.
Yeah.
So it just felt like they were getting better as the year went on, and then Michael. And then RJ Davis, he's got some experience. So I don't know. That was just kind of my thought. I think it's pretty true that, I don't know if it's just to the round of 32, but I think every year or 13 out of the 14 years, one team from the first 4 that was an at-large has made the second week or the second round. So
I think my thought was the other side of the bracket. When Texas was winning the game against Xavier, I was going to pick them to beat Illinois. So that was my thought, was the other side of the bracket. But I think UNC has a really good shot in this one. Like I said, I kind of went with the SEC bias a little bit, and just the fact that maybe we're reading a little bit too much into it, and the ACC has not performed well overall so far in this tournament. Just with Louisville losing and Clemson losing. So, there's been a couple AC teams that have struggled as well.
Yeah. And, if North Carolina were to lose, then Duke would be the only remaining team just like that. So, it'd be interesting to see. And actually, I guess it is a stretch. And I didn't see too much of either team this year, but we did go with Grand Canyon over Maryland.
Well, I can't. I have a bias to Maryland. I do like them and like watching them back from the Grievous Vasquez days and those guys. And they have the nickname for their starting 5 is the Crab 5. So I feel like that also. I was just like, this needs to be around for longer than one game.
Yeah.
So that's why I went with them. And I have them going up against Florida. I thought they're a good team. Like Maryland's a good team.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is whether you're playing, it feels almost like unless you're playing in the SEC, a lot of the games you're winning are against teams that aren't in the tournament. You got to go look at the non-con. They didn't have a great non-con schedule. So, there's not a lot of big wins on Maryland's resume outside of, I think they beat Michigan State once and they beat Michigan before they lost to Michigan in the Big Ten tourney. But it's hard. I think with the SEC, it's so easy because they're literally facing top 15 teams almost every week. At this point, there's so many good teams in the SEC, so they're battle tested. So that's why it's a little bit easier with that conference when you're looking at those guys. But I think when it comes to the other ones, there hasn't been a real standout outside of Duke and Houston that have really just taken care of business, whether it's top team, a lower end team that's not in the SEC. So I felt like, with Maryland, it's kind of a guess too. I have no idea. Like I said, they play good basketball, but Grand Canyon could always. I mean, we saw Grand Canyon last year, right? They upset. Who did they upset last year? I think they upset someone last year. So
they did. I forget who it was. And I know, remember, this was a long time ago, but I remember they beat Duke at Cameron Indoor. Break their like home winning streak. So why does that pull up for today's matchup, Tony?
I was gonna say they beat Maryland last year. No, this was last year's matchup.
Um,
St. Mary's. That's what it says, right?
Must be, March 27th.
Yeah, that sounds right. They were 12, and St. Mary's was a 5, right? Yeah. So you never know with Grand Canyon, but I feel like they just don't have as much hype as they did last year. So that's why I wasn't convinced either.
Yeah. And
I guess they beat Alabama first.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, and then they would have played them in the second
and
round.
then they beat St. Mary's.
That's what it is.
So they had a couple wins under their belt last year,
16,
dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the Crab 5.
Well, and it's the only for-profit publicly university in Division I.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that came out a couple
only.
Yeah,
Tony, the Crab 5 is Maryland, not Grand Canyon.
Oh, sorry, never mind. That makes more sense. I was wondering why you were like, Crab 5.
Thing, like latching onto a phrase and then just like overdoing it. The team that we've followed closely, most closely this year has been UConn. And obviously, you're coming off back-to-back championships, and it's just it's going to be disappointing when you have 10 losses and you're an 8th seed. But so it's just been infuriating watching them all year because you feel like the talent is there, but then it's just like there's certain games like losing to Seton Hall and how you feel like they didn't really play their best game against Creighton in that semifinal of the Big East tournament. So, and obviously McNeely missed stretches of the season, and sure, 3 of those losses were in Maui. But what do you think about them? I mean, we know McNeely, Caravan's been up and down, but I guess recently better, and it feels like Solo Ball, has the potential, but it just seems like it's all about just putting it together. I mean, do you have them over Oklahoma today?
I do. Yeah, I do. I think, at the end of the day, it's Dan Hurley. So I think, Dan Hurley's a great coach. I think he finds a way to beat them. But I think the problem a lot of this year, too, there's been a lot of distractions from Hurley, too, right. In the sense of, like, every single game he's doing something crazy, which is fine when you're winning games. But then when you start losing games, I feel like it gets to be even more kind of like, I guess not in your face, but like it gets to be even more of a distraction. And I think that's been a bit of the issue for them is that it's just been a lot of distractions around him. Like you said, there's been injuries. They're still a good team. And I think, an 8 seed's probably right for the way that they played in the games they won and lost. But, I think there's a possibility that they could beat Oklahoma and then beat Florida. And then go to the Sweet 16. Like, I don't think that's impossible. Like, this is not a bad UConn team or, your typical 8 seed. I just think, and we know the Big East kind of does well in these tournaments. So, I think we'll see them beat Oklahoma today for sure. And then I think it will be a very close game of Florida. I think a lot of people have Florida like, if you look at like the ESPN like experts and you look at their brackets or whatever, it feels like 95% of them have Florida winning it all. And it feels like that's such a cop-out because they're just like, oh, well, Florida won the SEC. The SEC was the best conference. They have to be the best team in the country. And I'm not necessarily convinced that Florida is going to go and like run the table in what is the hardest bracket out of all 4 of the brackets. So, yeah, I mean, I think they're going to struggle with UConn if UConn gets past Oklahoma. And then we'll see. But, yeah, I like UConn today. I think they win it today, and I think they probably win it relatively easily, I'm going to say. Because I don't think Oklahoma's that good.
No. I agree. And, we do have in our bracket UConn beating Florida. I guess what that would be on Sunday. And then ultimately losing to St. John.
I'm about to say, what do you got, a Big East Elite 8 over there?
I wanted to run it back and go for the 3-peat, but I was like, the way that they've looked against St. John, I don't know. I mean, obviously, if anybody could make the adjustments, I'm sure it could be Hurley. But
last time they were an 8 seed, right? They won it all.
Yeah.
So, it's not impossible.
It's interesting.
No. It's not impossible. And Tony, pull up the bracket again. I was trying to see
Our bracket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would they play in the Sweet 16 with this?
You're talking about
UConn.
Oh, UConn. Are they playing
over Colorado
State,
but who has to beat Memphis? Okay.
Yeah.
Which actually that would bode pretty well
for UConn,
because Florida would be the tough game sandwich in between. And not that Colorado State's bad, but I mean that's for a Sweet 16 opponent. That's not too difficult. So who knows? Maybe it could happen.
I think even if they play Maryland, like I don't see a reason why if they beat Florida, they couldn't also. You beat Florida this weekend, then you get a whole week to prepare for whoever your Sweet 16 opponent is. Or 4 days or whatever it is to prepare for whoever your Sweet 16 opponent is. I don't think it's impossible, whether it's Memphis, Florida, or Memphis, Maryland, Grand Canyon, or Colorado State. Any of those 4 teams, I think UConn can beat. So, I think obviously Florida is the obstacle, but I think outside of that, they have a path to the Elite Eight, and you never know what can happen at the bottom of the bracket. Like this is a tight bracket. I think there's a lot of talent spread throughout. You could find Drake beating Texas Tech and Arkansas beating.
We have Drake.
We have that.
Yeah. I think I have that as well.
No, you don't.
But yeah, you could have Drake beating. It's like you never know what can happen at the bottom of the bracket, and then all of a sudden UConn's facing a Colorado State and an Arkansas in back-to-back games, and then they're in the Final Four. So. I think obviously they're not as good as they were, as dominant as they have been the past 2 years, but I don't see any reason why UConn can't find themselves in a position to succeed here, at least until the Elite Eight.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. It's gonna. I'm excited to watch that game later.
Yeah, me too. Actually, dude,
for sure. And you actually rooting for him, Tony? I always get confused with you and your UConn fandom.
No, I am actually rooting for UConn. I mean,
want to see the matchup with St. John's.
We want to see the matchup with St. John's, the rematch. I also want our bracket to be accurate.
Right.
I'm rooting for them, and they all. I mean, not for nothing. It's like, what they're playing the Niners. Come on. I mean,
you got to.
There's no Wagner for Tony to root for, so
yeah, that's right. There's no Wagner here, unfortunately, which is fine, I guess, dude.
Got interested an outside opinion here. Our good buddy Michael Butka, has been harping on Iron Eagle, taking over for Nance. And he says here that calling the first rounds of the tourney is okay, but no way in hell he deserves to take Nance's shot with calling the Final Four games. You have to respect that part. That's what he says. And it just I was just saying this before. I feel like Nance is better. Like I like Nance. Like I wish he was still calling the tournament, but I don't think Eagle's terrible. I also think it's just tough to follow up somebody like Jim Nance who was doing it for so long.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I'd like to point out that I'm extremely triggered by the Luka Lakers picture in that profile pic. So if we have an opportunity, that'd be great.
About that.
But yeah, I mean, listen, you're right. I think it's more of a product of we've known Nance for so long as the guy who calls the Final Four, the guy who calls the tournament. That I think Iron Eagle's really good. I think he's a really good broadcaster, but he's not Jim. He's not Jim Nance. He's we're so weak. It's like the theme song, like the things that we associate with March Madness. Jim Nance is one of those things, and like Bill Rafferty, like those are names that we associate with March Madness based on our age group and whatnot.
Right.
And I think that following up that is going to be difficult. It's it's so hard to do. It's not.
So you wouldn't demote Iron Eagle to Starbucks like Michael Bucket?
I would not demote Iron Eagle to Starbucks.
Oh man. And then if you had to say for today, what do you think is going to be the most compelling, exciting game of the day?
I think Arizona Akron could be really fun. Akron's got a really good team. Their offense is really, really good. Arizona, you never know what you're going to get with them. They are a good Big 12 team, but they've kind of been up and down this entire season. I think that's going to be a really, really fun game. And then I'm just trying to pick out games that are not the typical ones or ones that we've talked about. Vanderbilt, St. Mary's could also be really good. St. Mary's has been dominant all season, but then they lose to Gonzaga like they do every single year in the MWC.
Mm-hmm.
Are they the MW? No, they're the WCC,
West
right?
Coast Conference, yeah.
WCC. In the WCC final, Vanderbilt has some big wins this year. Selfishly, I wish they were just playing on Vanderbilt's home court because I like watching the teams on the end line as opposed to being on the sideline. But yeah, I think that could be a really good game too. So I think those are two that are not the typical, like, I feel like everybody would say UNC Ole Miss, will be a really good one. And obviously we've picked Colorado State over Memphis, so that's one to watch. But outside of those two, I think those two could be really good. And if you want to stay up until midnight, almost 1 a.m., you could watch Liberty, Oregon, but I probably won't watch that game.
Yeah, and I was saying this yesterday to a couple of my buddies. Like, I like the spread out nature, but then I think we're stretching it too far. And I think it's just like with any sports, like, even with like Sunday Night Football or something like that, just like catering to the West Coast. And I just feel like, you want to stop the start time maybe at 9:45, that's fine. But to stretch it out even further, I mean, really, or 9:30, like, should be enough, because those games, like, you're doing a disservice to the people on the East Coast here, especially like yesterday, missing those two late games. It's just like, you're not going to, with work the next day, you're not going to stay up till 12:30, 1 o'clock to watch them.
Yeah. Is this a change they made this year? Because I feel like I don't remember them having, like, because I'm looking at the schedule, they have 4:35 as the last tip off before they have like a 2-hour break for another tip off to 6:50. And I feel like I don't remember that break. Maybe it's just, it was more distinct yesterday because I was like eating dinner at the same time that the break was happening, in terms of like, okay, like, well, we don't have another game starting till 6:50. Like, we have some time here before that gets in like crunch time. But yeah, it does feel spread out. It feels way too spread out. Just because, like you said, maybe obviously for those on the West Coast, you wake up, you have basketball all the way until the time you want to eat dinner at 7 p.m. and then you finish dinner and then catch the end of those games. I guess that's good for them, but for us over here on the East Coast, it's I am not staying up for the 10 and the 10 game or whatever the tip off is for that one. So
yeah.
You also never know what's going to start, because like if the game before it goes in OT, like that game doesn't start till 10:30, 10:45.
Oh yeah, no, it gets way too stretched. What's up, Tony?
Yeah, I just gotta interrupt here real quick. We're having some internet connectivity issues, it seems. We're gonna reset the system. So at any given moment in the next couple of minutes, this thing's probably gonna just drop off and we're gonna lose internet for like, I don't know, a few minutes, and then we'll come back, sort of deal. So
Tony with the good announcements today.
This is great. This is great. No, yeah, I probably
get
will.
On the hot spot, Tony. Come on,
get on a hot spot, dude. That's my next thing I was going to do.
But yeah, I was going to say, I do remember the gap last year at least, and it might even stretch back further than that. But I think, that's the biggest thing that stretches out the games, and it's kind of like interesting, because I know growing up, it kind of was like thrilling, even though it was annoying, because if you weren't watching on your computer, you couldn't see all the games. They would only give you one game on CBS at a time. But that like rough game starting at like 12 o'clock was kind of exciting. So I feel like, there is probably, some middle ground that they could do, but I don't know if it's one of those things where they're just not going to change it until like there's a new TV deal coming up.
Yeah. It feels weird, but I mean, again, it is what it is. It's like you said, it's really, I think, unfortunate and made like more exaggerated by the fact that like we had not a lot of great games in the early slate, and then all the good games were late.
Yeah,
and so I think that kind of like makes it more of an exaggerated, like, oh wow, okay, like that was a little bit difficult or annoying or whatever, but yeah, and we'll see. I mean, again, tonight the 10 o'clock game is Michigan State versus Bryant. That should be an easy Michigan State win. Why they put UConn and Oklahoma at 9:25, I have no idea.
I didn't realize the game was so late.
Yes,
yeah. That put Akron and Arizona at 9:25. Like, I feel like, what are we doing here? Like, I feel like any East Coast team that's at least, I mean, listen, like sometimes you got to do it. Like Oregon, Liberty, you're probably putting on the West Coast just because more people are going to watch for Oregon than they are Liberty. But like UConn, Oklahoma, you put it on at 7:25 or whatever, 7:35. Like, okay, then that's a good time for the East Coast and the Central Time. So I don't know, that one feels really late, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You go into going into tomorrow's games, and the latest tip-off is 9:40. So, it's a 2-day thing.
With a little bit of a condensed schedule. And I don't know if it was always like this, but I was noticing this a lot yesterday. Yeah, Michael Buck is
take
it, relax.
He's going on Jay now, dude.
Yeah,
saying Jay Bird's brainwashed because he likes Mr. Eagle, dude.
Don't disagree with Michael.
Absolutely cooked, Jason. You're cooked, dude.
But has it always been like this? And I know the real region name is about where the regional final is, but the East region game between Oregon and Liberty is being played in Seattle. UConn is in the West region, and their game is being played at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. Has it always been like that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been like I think it's based on where the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 are being played, not where the first round games are being played. Because what is who's the Auburn's in the South or whatever? Are they in the South? Internet connectivity issues, I believe. I can carry this on. Well, we have internet connectivity issues. I don't know if we're on. Let's see. But yeah, I think it's always been that way for this. Let's see, what do we got here? All right. I think we lost them, but I think we're still live. So, hey, how's it going, guys? Let's just make sure we're still live on Twitter. Is it just my face? It is just my face. Awesome. So until they get back, yes, Michael Bukta, Luka is God. We can talk about this a little bit because I did not get to talk about this a little bit, but Luka, I am a Mavericks fan, so Luka trade really hit me hard. Obviously, Nico Harrison is looking like a big dumb idiot right now with this trade, just based on how the Mavericks are playing. Obviously, again, they made the comments that they were doing this for the now rather than the future, and since then they've had 100 zillion people who have gone down injured, including Kyrie, AD, who they traded for. So it's been difficult. Yeah. Michael Bukta here saying that Nico is the GOAT. Yes, obviously, as a Lakers fan, I'd imagine you would believe that. And listen, I mean, Luka, I think I saw something yesterday that Luka it took him 6 or 7 games to have 5 games with 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, which took like Kobe and LeBron, I think 6 or 7 years. But it was difficult. I was very shocked by the trade. I think it happened at like 2 a.m. I woke up. I have a little daughter who's a year and a half old. And she woke up in the middle of the night. I woke up with her, and naturally I kind of went on my phone while I was trying to rock her back to sleep. And I thought it was a joke because my friends texted in the group chat about it. And I thought it was a joke, and it turns out it was not a joke. And I could not fall asleep for the next hour and a half, I think. My daughter was in bed within like a half hour again. But I was up scrolling through Instagram, like hate scrolling through Twitter, X. And it was a difficult one to understand. There were a lot of long text messages to the group chat, but it is what it is now. I mean, if they didn't want him there, then Luka should be happy to be elsewhere. It's upsetting that, he gave so much to the city and wanted to be there and wanted to be a part of the city. You don't get a lot of guys that come to Dallas and want to be like the guy, like free agents that are coming. I mean, obviously we had Clay, but these top free agents we've had trouble getting a lot. And so it was a difficult one for me to let go of a guy who desperately wanted to be there and desperately wanted to succeed for the Mavericks after everything that he had done, taking them to the finals the year before. I know they got beat pretty bad, and I know his defensive issues and conditioning are something that is to be pointed out. But I kind of thought that's what we got Clay for, what we have Kyrie for, is to kind of even that out a little bit while Luka goes and does his thing. So definitely really big deal. Josh B. the Prez says the fact that Luka wasn't shopped, you could have a king's ransom for him. From what I understand, he was shopped to Minnesota, and I think he was shopped to one other team. Because I know that there's been rumors around Anthony Edwards being part of that deal. Obviously, they did not want to give him up. But really, the fact that Nico kind of was just like, yeah, like, you know, we joked about it, and then Rob thought I wasn't serious is telling in itself. And the fact that it was kept under wraps, I mean, there would have been somebody. I think they said they reached out to Boston and they reached out to Minnesota. And again, this could all be PR because this came out afterwards. They could have leaked this as like a false story because, you know, everybody was like, how do you not shop him to other people? Yeah, the fact that they didn't really shop him around and didn't say, hey, look, we're putting Luka on the market. What can we get for him? And instead decided that they were going to trade for a guy in AD who we know Nico Harrison has a very good relationship with. And that's probably one of the main reasons he wanted to bring him to Dallas. A guy who has his own injury concerns, as we've seen, is like you said, malpractice of a franchise. And it's going to hurt them for a very long time. Like if they don't do anything soon, like this is going to be, I think, equivalent to when the Nets went all in on Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Joe Johnson. Was that the big three that the Nets had? Kevin Durant? I can't even think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, it was not the move. It was not the right move for them. And I think it's going to cripple the franchise for probably about like 5 to 10 years. Because I just don't. You're not going to find a superstar like that. That, you know, they got lucky. You know, he was a product of a trade. You know, Atlanta takes Trae Young, they take Luka, and things are, you know, this was the first time they competed for a championship in 10 years. Before that, the time that they competed for that, I think the only other time they competed for a championship, I'm not sure, prior to when I was born, but was 2006 with you know, the Heat again. But the older Heat, early in Dirk years. But yeah, it's definitely a difficult one to swallow. You know, I definitely did not love it. Still don't love it. I haven't really watched Mavs basketball. Again, I'm over here in New York, so it's kind of hard for me to watch Mavs basketball anyway. And
you're a real foodie watching Mavs basketball, dude.
No, and we appreciate it, you know, because actually,
yeah, you're killing it, dude.
Yeah, you're killing it, and we just do like a quick, like, couple minutes at the end of each show about the NBA.
Yeah,
it's not really the focus.
But we had questions, and I was a Luka fan, so I wanted to answer.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and no, it was a shock to us that deal and just what the thought process is, and I guess that they didn't want to give him the extension, but I know you were saying too. Oh, there was a couple other offers, but it wasn't like carefully vetted though. It's like I still don't, you know what I mean? It's like something that big. Like, how does it get to that point where it's like the due diligence isn't done? And how would you not know that you could, if Mikal Bridges is getting 5-6 first round picks, that getting only one is not enough, even if you are getting a really good player? Like
you're getting a 32-year-old AD who has injury concerns, that you're trading a guy because he has injury concerns. Like it's like I and again, it's fallen apart around him after. So I mean, it's definitely been very very difficult to watch the Mavericks. I honestly don't even care anymore. Like they're
I mean, how could you? Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I'm kind of happy about it. Like I'm kind of happy it's all falling apart around them because like that's such a dumb trade that they deserve that, and Nico deserves that. They don't deserve that, but Nico deserves that. And the fact that they're kicking out fans for having fire Nico signs, like you make a trade like that, dog, like you got to take the heat with it.
Yeah,
if you really think it's going to work out, you got to take the heat with it. I mean, listen,
that's embarrassing.
I don't condone any violence, of course. Death threats, obviously, we do not condone that as well. But from a kicking fans out for saying fire Nico, I definitely do not. But kicking fans out for saying fire Nico, it feels like feels a bit much, and feels like they're trying to control a narrative around something that was just like objectively a very bad trade.
And I mean, not for nothing, like that's just not even a good way to react, because you're just going to fuel the fire more. So
It just
like,
you're already embarrassed, and then you're compounding it. You know,
exactly.
That's happening. So. Exactly. And like, with the, there's been so much around it. They raised ticket prices like immediately after. Like it's like,
that's
there's been so much around it, and they just made so many bad moves.
Vegas, the casino, who really knows?
Yeah, I mean, again, if they move out of Dallas, I'd be really, really disappointed. I'm not sure. Like, it's like I don't know why. Like, I have no connection to the city of Dallas, but like the Dallas Mavericks, are I don't want to be the Vegas Mavericks or the Vegas whatever they're going to call the franchise if they move. I want to root for the team that was in Dallas, that had Dirk, that had Steve Nash, that had Jay Kidd playing point guard for them, JJ Barea, Jason Terry, that's the Mavs that I will always remember. And it's like, it's hard. And it's weird because none of our franchises have ever thought about moving, right? Like in our lifetime, if you root for a New York team, they're not like, oh, let's move out of New York.
Right.
So this is really the first experience. And granted, I root for other teams that are outside New York, but yeah, it's the first time that they've really ever, I've really ever experienced this. So it's weird, but I get it. When fans are like, oh, I'm not following them here. I kind of get it a little bit.
Yeah. No, and I don't think they're going to end up moving, though, because I think the NBA just wants 2 more expansive franchises.
Yeah.
Vegas, we'll see where the other one is. But I think it would be wise to keep them in Dallas for sure.
Yeah.
But, Tony, if we could go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it! Yep. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
It's kind of crazy. I was just thinking in my head, I mean, we haven't talked Yankees in years.
I know.
Last year was just such a tough way to end all the excitement all season, and then experiencing it firsthand at the World Series, being that close, not being able to get the job done, and then the whole Soto scenario. So where and then obviously the injuries this spring too, but where are you with the Yankees now? How you feeling about this upcoming season?
Not great. I think it's difficult with the injuries that we've had to pitching. Obviously, pitching was a severe strength, I think, at the beginning of the season. Before all of this, when things, before spring training, you're feeling pretty good about where the Yankees are. I think the Soto thing is difficult. Obviously, you don't want to lose him, but I think $865 million is a lot of money. And that was clearly spread out into different players. I think obviously it was a tough market to get the players you needed. We're still missing a third baseman. We need a third baseman. Would I prefer if Bellinger was playing first base and Dominguez was playing center and we had an actual left fielder and that had experience at left field in the major leagues? Yeah, I would prefer that. But overall, you're okay, making things work. We'll see how the kids do. And we have really good pitching. But now you have Cole out for the season. You're not sure what's up with heel. Stanton has 2 elbows that just may be irreparable or unrepairable. You have, Schmidt who's dealing with some injuries. And all of a sudden your rotation has, obviously Carlos Rodon and Max Fried at the top of it. And then Marcus Stroman and Will Warren and players that don't have a lot of experience. And so now pitching has become a little bit of a weakness. So I think it's hard to be excited, super excited. There's no saying that this won't be a good season. And I think we're going to get a lot of information on the kids. I think we're getting a lot of information on Volpe, Wells, Peraza, Oswaldo, those guys, Dominguez. But I think there's, you have to feel a little. I mean, I don't know how you feel, Barnes, but I feel a little disappointed going into the season of how things look at the moment.
I feel good about the offense, I have to say. I think like even though, losing Soto, I think that the lineup is deeper and so that's why, and I don't know. I mean, I don't have like high expectations for Oswaldo Cabrera, but I think he could be okay. So I know, sure, it's a lot of ifs, but the one thing that's very exciting for me is that it's finally relying on guys that came through the farm system. So like you think about all the guys that are very important, Wells, Dominguez, and then, Cabrera, is somewhat important too. So that's 4 guys right there. Ben Rice is going to get a lot of bats too. So that's another guy. So I just like that aspect because I feel like we have not been able to do that before. And of course, it's not ideal, to have, Stroman, Warren, and Carrasco in the rotation for the year. But the one thing on our side, I feel like with that is Matt Blake has done a pretty good job of turning these guys around. Our bullpen is good. So I think if they could just be average and we hit the way that we're expecting to, I think that'll be fine. And I think if we need to, come trade deadline, we could trade for a starter if we need to. And I think that just depended on how Heel and Schmidt, rebound from the injuries.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? I think a lot of people were like, oh, like, I don't really love the lineup right now, or I don't really love the pitching right now. Like, this will not be what things look like come August 1st. Like, that's just not going to be the case if they want, any chance of competing. It just won't be. And I think it's the first time since 2017, like you said, this is the first time in a while we've had a chance to see, okay, like, here's some real playing time to the kids. Let's see what you got. And I think a lot of people are really down on Volpe. I think the performance he put up in the playoffs was really good offensively, and I think this is a big year for him. And I have belief still that he can be somewhat of an offensive threat. He doesn't need to be the guy who's batting second, third, fourth. He doesn't need to be in the middle of the order. He can be a guy who's at the bottom of the lineup, 7th or 8th. But as long as he's putting up some solid numbers, knocking some base hits, and getting on base, that's what I need from him because defensively I think we'll be all right. And I think, it'll be interesting. I think it'll be fun to see Dominguez. It'll be fun to see some of these guys perform in the beginning half of the season. And the Yankees typically start off well in the beginning of the season. So we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. Again, it's disappointing to see how things have turned out, but I'm also not going to sit here and say that I don't think they have like a shot. Like I think they have a shot, but I think it might be a difficult stretch at times and stuff like that.
I think, honestly, the AL East, I think, is going to be kind of shot, to be honest.
Yeah, like Riley Souza, who's Riley Souza, former alumni here. He thinks the Red Sox are winning like 100 games. They're going to win 75 with that pitching staff.
Like, listen, like, I'm stoked for Bueller. Bregman will probably do okay.
Crochet
we know that the numbers.
Have Tommy John at some point.
Crochet, I don't know, but Bregman we know has good numbers at fucking Fenway, whatever.
From 5 years ago.
But not for nothing, dude. Between them, obviously, some of the struggles of the injuries the Yankees have to deal with at the start of the season. Toronto, you never really know, I guess, what you're getting. Maybe Vladdy will have another great year, but like Tampa, Baltimore didn't make many moves in the offseason. Like, the division is very much like in Yankees' hands. Like, I'm not saying that they're, a lock to win the division, but
I think also like the Yankees will make the playoffs. Like the AL sucks.
Yeah, dude, it does suck, dude. So,
we're not playing in the NL here. Like the Yankees could easily, I think the Yankees, Red Sox, and Orioles can all find a way in the playoffs. And then we get a team from each of the other divisions. And
I'm trying to think, Riley's saying the bottom 4 is terrible. So who would be considered the bottom 4? So it would be Wells is leading off, Judge is batting second, Bellinger's batting third, Goldschmidt's batting fourth, and then it would be Jazz batting fifth, right? So then your bottom 4 would be 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wells in there?
No, Wells was leading off.
So then Volpe somewhere in there?
Yeah,
Volpe, Dominguez,
Brera, and then Ben Rice. Dominguez too. I don't know. How do you feel about Dominguez? I'm really excited. I think he has the chance to be the best prospect that we've had since Judge of guys that Dominguez.
Yeah, he does. He's the potential for sure. I worry obviously about his offense, or his defense, but I think he has the potential to be the best, prospect we've seen since Judge. I think he has a lot of like athletic ability. I think he could hit the ball. And I think with extended at bats, like let's not like go and be like 10 games in, he has a 150 batting average and freak out about it. Like this guy has had very sporadic at bats throughout his career so far in the MLB. He needs to get used to that. And I think that come June, July, like you'll start to see the guy that we're expecting to see. And I think offensively, he'll be very good. Again, defensively, I mean, listen, nobody can be worse at left field than Jose Altuve is right now. So he's going to be better than that.
And we know he's going to hit a lot better than Alex Verdugo, who was terrible Red Sox alumni.
Who's
now with the Braves.
Oh,
he signed with the Braves.
Yeah, that's tough. Gino, I know you got to go in a couple minutes here, so I want to ask you a couple questions about some hockey here.
Yes, of course.
I don't know how much hockey you've been watching, but
I've been watching a lot of it. My team is good.
As of right now, the Canadiens are in a wild card spot. They're in that second one. And they have 2 games, I think, on the Rangers, right? In hand.
Yeah.
I mean, you must be feeling pretty stoked about your Canadiens, huh?
Yes. So, I mean, they're ahead of schedule, right? I mean, we expected them to be in competition, I think, to a certain point. But I think at a point you expected them to fall off a little bit. I don't think I don't even think management. I think, obviously the players will come out and say, like, listen, we expect to be in the playoffs this year. Like, this is where we expect to be. Like, you're good. If you're a player, like, you expect that because, like, if you're not, then why are you playing the game?
Right.
But I think outside, you didn't really expect the Canadiens to be in there. They have a lot of young prospects, a lot of young guys. Yeah. They're in a really good spot right now because hopefully by next year they get Demidov back from Russia and get his contract signed, bring him in. He's like the leading scorer on his team, even though they play him on the 4th line over there for whatever reason. You have him. Reinbacher will be back. Defensively, they have a couple injuries. You'll see where Kirby Dach goes and does. And then you have a ton of cap space. So they're going to be able to spend in the offseason if they want to. I know Kent Hughes, who you guys as Rangers fans are familiar with. I believe he was your guys' president or general manager at one point, right? And led that rebuild. He has said, listen, we're not going to spend like drunken sailors. But they have a lot of money to spend, and they have draft capital. They have, they have a solid core of a team. And I think the first line is starting to perform as we would hope they would have performed with Slavkovsky and Suzuki and Cole Caulfield. Lane Hudson has been absolutely phenomenal. Like Adam Fox levels of productive to relate it back to the Rangers. So, I mean, listen, people in Montreal are really, really excited about it. I think the goaltending situation is the one major issue that they have right now because last night Montembeault, let in a goal or 2 that were not very good goals. But again, you see it every night. They fight back. They did it against the Senators. They did it last night against the Islanders, which I would have liked to be at, but unfortunately could not have made it to that game. But you see it happening, and you can see, where, they have a prospect who just won Big Ten Freshman of the Year. So, you could see the wheels turning and things start to come in. And they also have a goalie prospect that plays for Boston College that is like leads the country in shutouts. So they're in a really good spot prospect wise, money wise, like for next year. If they make the playoffs this year, it's a bonus. Great. Yeah. I would love to see them in the playoffs, but I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed if they miss out by a point or 2. Because this is the best season we've seen in years, the most exciting season we've seen since probably 2020 when they had the fake final that they got to. Best season since then. And I think there's just a lot of promise around them. And I think next year, when they go into next year, you're going to see a team that's competing to be in one of those automatic, like non-wild card spots in the division. And will be very, very good to the point that 2-3 years down the road will be probably 3-4 years down the road, they'll be a Stanley Cup contender.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you guys are really, like you said, set up for success. I think with, St. Louis too has been such a tremendous asset as a coach, like developing this young talent, dude.
Yeah. Montembeault.
Montembeau.
I have no idea. Yeah.
You guys you think that they're probably gonna go out this offseason and get a different tender depending on what happens this year? I mean,
it's hard because they have a guy that's Dobes, I think is his name, or Dobbs. He's like their backup, who's pretty solid. I don't think they're going to sign a top end guy because they have the kid from Boston College that they know is coming through. So I think they won't sign a top end goaltender. I think they'll probably look to beef up the defense a little bit, and beef up the offense. That's probably where they'll look. I know there was talk about Rantanen before he signed his deal in Dallas. So there's some things out there. Obviously, we didn't have Liney for half the season either. So, now that we have Liney and he's excited to be here, I think there's some moves that will be made. It will be a little bit of a different roster, but yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, dude. Final question for me. Ovechkin scored last night. I think he's 7 away from Gretzky's record. There's 14 games left. Do you think he does it this year?
I think he absolutely does because they got the playoffs too.
Yeah.
So you figure he scores maybe 4 the rest of the season. All he's got to do is score 3 or 4 in the playoffs.
Count though, right?
That's a great question. I didn't think so.
Because I thought it was like baseball, with.
I mean, I guess technically it is just career goals. I mean, do goals are we?
No.
No.
I have no idea. That's a good question. I thought they kind of considered playoffs. I think he could still do it this year. I mean, that's a goal. I still think he could too. I mean, he's scoring at almost a goal every game right now.
Exactly, and at this point, he just needs to score every other game. So,
if he scores a hat trick one game, I think he absolutely does it. It's it's possible. Which is crazy, but
separate category.
It is separate. Yeah, I thought so.
But there's enough games for him to do it.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude.
He's got at least one hat trick in him.
And I'm pretty sure one of the last few games of the regular season, I believe, is against the Islanders in New York.
Wow.
So that would be kind of wild.
Maybe their tickets for that would be actually more than the $12.
Yeah, I would think so, dude. But that's it. You gotta go.
I gotta jump, guys. But it's always a pleasure hopping on. With you fellas.
Great talking with you, Gino. Anytime.
Yeah, way to carry.
I hope,
man.
Yeah, with the power outage.
Thanks. But yes, go UConn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks,
go
Gino.
UConn.
Right, bye, guys.
We'll talk to you. I mean, Tony, you could have just said Gino was coming on. It would have been fine.
Listen, dude. You know what? Honestly, dude. I'm not listening to Michael Theophil ever again. All right, dude. All right. How about that? How about that, Michael?
Oh man, no, that was good though. Good to talk to Gino.
Yeah, it was great. Got some hockey talk in there, a little bit of everything, dude.
Yes.
The NBA, Luka, Bukta. Found a new friend, probably.
Yeah. But he's telling him he's got to step it up with the fandom.
Dude. Yeah, Josh B, dude. Mavericks, Yankees, Montreal. It is kind of a whirlwind over there.
It is. And I would imagine there were certain players when he was growing up that he liked that made him like the team, I'm guessing.
Yeah, wait till you hear that he follows the Tennessee Titans, dude. Also, Josh B. How about that, dude?
Wow.
Steve Young, dude. Tennessee. I think Dallas was because of Dirk.
Yeah. And Tennessee, maybe McNair?
No, Young.
Steve Young didn't play for Tennessee. He played for San Francisco.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know. Eddie George?
No.
Steve Young is San Francisco. Titans, I mean, McNair got him to the Super Bowl. Warren Moon?
But
I feel like it wouldn't be Warren Moon. You'll have to text him.
Who was the quarterback who played for Texas who got drafted by Tennessee? The Longhorns. No?
Oh, Vince Young.
Vince Young.
Okay, there you go.
There we go, dude.
I was thinking too far back. That was actually on me. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's on everyone.
And also, his career was very short. Like he was I think 3rd overall pick. And it just ended very quickly. What's up, dude? But I feel like it would be a good time to do the Immaculate Grid, Tony. I've been staring this in the face for a while. Next time we'll have to ask Gino about it. I feel like he's done one.
He definitely has, dude. He definitely has. All right, let's pull this one up here. Oh gosh, dude. There's the 40 career war.
White Sox, Cubs, Jose Quintana.
White Sox, Cubs. Oh.
Okay, 8%.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Okay, so Cubs and what was I thinking there? Or
Cubs in Toronto?
or San Diego, Toronto, David Wells.
David Wells, bang. 7%. All right, we're getting there,
Percentages
dude.
are high.
Oh, you're tight, dude. I know. I heard. Yes, you told me yesterday. You did great, dude. Trying to follow that up.
You know what? I could use your help on.
There we go.
Do you know who came over in the Cease trade? Anybody
The Dylan
that's playing
Cease
in
trade.
the majors?
That's a great question, dude.
Oh, I know. Oh man, I gotta remember this because he was Drew Thorpe. Drew Thorpe. Oh, but
no.
But I'm just trying. He didn't play.
He never played.
He gets traded and then didn't play, so I don't know if that counts. So maybe just don't do it.
I mean, they must have played in a regular season. Or
No,
it was,
and
and he never.
Right.
So I'm saying that this must have
saved by the bell there, Tony.
So not.
Does Ernie
Who
think
else
Moises Alou had a 40 career war for the Cubs or no?
I mean, I feel like that's a safe bet, though. No.
I'm trying to think of other guys potentially.
Sousa said Dylan Cease,
Yeah,
but that's going to be super high, dude. Just like Riley, am I right?
And do you think Roberto Alomar has a 40 career war because he played for the Padres?
Yeah, I would think so, right?
Go Alomar.
Roberto. Is this going to be one of those? I felt it. I felt it.
Yes. 1%. How about that,
How
Tony?
about that, dude?
All right. And then I'm just trying to think of have any like legendary pitchers pitched for the Cubs, potentially with a 40 career war. Also,
legendary
Hall of Fame 40 career war is I feel like that one's probably pretty easy. Do we go Guerrero Sr.? Hall of Fame
for Hall of Fame 40 career war?
Definitely.
Yeah, right. Vladimir Guerrero Sr.
Wow.
0.4. There we go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, the light bulb.
And I was trying to because this is like the typical no, it's just because nothing. I'm not even gonna say it. But anyway, I was gonna say Hall of Famers that kind of like played quickly on the Blue Jays or the White Sox. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that wouldn't be so high. I feel like the light's spot.
A little bit, dude.
Yeah,
because it's right over me too. So it's like, what?
It's not me, but it's you.
It is though. It's me. Sorry. So Toronto Hall of Famers.
And then also Cubs 40 career war and Cubs Blue Jays. Cubs Blue Jays Stroman, but high.
Very high. That's too high, dude. It's really the only one I would know, I guess. I think, dude.
Oh, Kimbrel on the White Sox and the Padres.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because I don't think of him as a Padre.
Definitely not, dude.
2%.
2%.
Go. So the 40 career war for the Cubs. Did Sandberg do it?
I would.
Andre Dawson.
I don't know.
Obviously Ernie Banks did.
Ernie's not here, dude.
No, Ernie Banks.
Oh, Ernie Banks. Oh, yeah.
But,
I mean, that would be the safe bet, I guess, right?
Yeah. It's probably going to be high. Just, I guess.
Ernie. You sure?
Yeah.
Pull it.
Yeah, 22%. Had a feeling. Cubs, Blue Jays. I'm in a Hall of Famer for the Blue Jays. White Sox. I don't know why I can't think of somebody who.
Another.
Gary Carter played for the Blue Jays.
He did.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
He definitely played for the Mets.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Gary Carter.
God. Oh, my God. That's so annoying. I swear he did. I must be thinking of somebody else.
Classic Ernie.
It just ruined
I sworn I saw him in Toronto jersey.
Now we got to do another one real quick. Someone would be pissed.
Oh.
Getting on a miss, Tony.
Was he really? Was he not? Let's see.
I mean, clearly
I guess
he wasn't.
not.
Oh, he was exposed. That's what it was.
Montreal.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh,
So tough. So tough.
Canada. Previous grids. Let's go back. You need Wilder? Oh no, we're good.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me with help.
Huh? No, we're all good. Yeah. Internet. Sorry everybody. Hold on, stand by. Let's go all the way down here, dude. Let's see where we were starting. All right, number 16 here. This is from April 19th of 2023.
Okay.
We got some good categories here. We got Cleveland Phillies.
Yeah, so Carlos
Do
Santana.
you think it's gonna be too high?
No.
I generally think that if I think of it first, I feel like it would be too high, but maybe not, dude. 8%,
Nick
not bad.
Castellanos for the Tigers and the Phillies.
Nick Castellanos.
Wait. Was he on the Tigers?
I don't know.
Stop.
I know he's on the Phillies.
Don't do it. I just don't want to blow it. I'm just saying.
Well, then why'd you say it? San Francisco Phillies. Oh,
Well, I know Hunter Pence, but it's high. And then also the Cy Young. It's Bieber. It's Sabathia.
yeah.
Was there any other ones?
Not that I know of.
Verlander for the
Detroit,
Tigers.
yeah. Did Scherzer win one too? I don't think so.
I guess go Lincecum for the
Tim, yeah.
right. I'm trying to think of who else.
I mean, there's probably some older guys, I'm sure.
Juan Marshall. Did he pitch for? Just go Lincecum. Whatever. We just got to complete it.
Yeah, we just gotta complete this one, dude. Let's go. Tim Lincecum. Oh, fuck.
That is absolutely
92%,
I mean,
dude.
is it even worth filling out the grid after that?
I mean, we gotta finish, right?
Yeah. All right. So
Gold Glove, Buster
Posey.
I mean, at this point, right?
Yeah, who even cares? Oh no. Do Crawford.
Corey Crawford?
No. JP Crawford.
Corey Crawford.
No. Brandon Crawford. No, because it is Brandon Crawford. It's not JP. JP was on the.
Oh my gosh. There you go, 19%.
All right, so might as well just give another high one with Pets. Let's see how high we can get it. How about that?
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, dude. We'll turn the tables on them,
This
dude.
is gonna be 30%.
36%, dude.
And then the Detroit Gold Glove.
Did Javi win one? Probably not.
No, I'm trying to think who wasn't Simmons, but go Cy Young, Justin Verlander. That'll be a nice 90%.
I mean, who else?
62%. Cy Young, and then do
Shane Bieber.
no, do Cliffley. Cliffley on that one.
I thought we were gonna try to get the high numbers, dude.
All right, and then let's see here. Gold Glove. So do Lindor. 28%.
Wow. Kind of low.
Okay, and then
Gold Glove with Detroit.
Gold Glove with Detroit. Trying to think who was with Cabrera. Trying to think who else was Detroit. You think Granderson did it?
Curtis Granderson?
Yeah. And Philly's Detroit too. I feel like it's so
That's tough.
No, but I feel like there's
Granderson?
Yeah.
He played for the Phillies, right?
Wait, did he? I don't think he did.
You don't think he did?
No,
Oh, come on. I feel like he went all over the East Coast.
not
No?
to the Phillies.
All
No.
right.
But Detroit, I mean, I just don't think it's Baez. Third base. It's kind of crazy. Why can't I think of any was Al Kaline on the Tigers?
I don't know,
It
dude.
was Detroit.
Baez, no. Detroit, Philly. We Castellanos, he says.
He did. Okay, so do Castellanos. Just do Castellanos.
Nick Castellanos?
Put us out of our misery on this grid. This is the worst grid of all time. But it's just because sometimes they give categories where there's not that many people. And then the Gold Glove for the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, he said Baez, I guess. But, I mean,
I feel like he didn't. And I don't think Miguel Cabrera did.
I don't think so either.
I don't know why I can't think of one short.
Shane Lowry is in first place. Valspar, by the way, 600.
I did see he was on a heater.
He is on a heater, dude. The drinking early
and often.
Love to see it, dude.
Center field. I mean, maybe just either Granderson or Bias. Your call.
Fuck. I guess I'm gonna go with Josh B. I guess.
Yeah. If it's wrong, whatever. I guess it'll be the first time we just don't complete a grid if we're wrong here. It's wrong.
You think it's wrong?
Yeah.
So let's go.
I can't believe Ernie over here.
Then let's go Granderson then.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like Josh B doesn't fucking know anything. Curtis Granderson. Oh, don't know how to spell. How about that, dude?
No. It was already 39 anyway.
Fuck.
It's all right.
Let's see.
We'll get back at it at Alan Trammell. And Ernie had given us that before, too. That's a shame.
Oh, my God, dude. 16 people only for that category. Yeah, it doesn't fucking...
I know.
Like, doesn't really take you to the right page here.
Fuck. Yeah. But it's all right. Like I said, we'll be back on this.
No, it ain't all right.
Oh, yeah? You need another one?
No. I mean,
you're just happy that I gave you the free pass today. No, just one more.
Oh, you want to do another one, dude?
Dude, I mean, you think I want to do another one?
You think I want to do another one?
All right,
let's fucking do another one, dude. Yeah, no, I'm calling your buff, dude. We'll do another one.
All right, do it.
Fucking yeah, dude. Yeah. All right, hold on, stand by. Let's scroll back here. Scroll down. We're fucking getting it right, dude. I don't care. It's fucking Friday. All right, let's go. We're going to the one from April 20th, dude. Here we go. Oh.
Pavetta.
Okay. I think Pavetta. Doesn't matter, dude. Racing. 2%, dude. There we go.
With the Cubs
and
the Red Sox.
6%. Boston White Sox.
Well.
Yeah, but it's okay because they also...
But also just do Silver Slugger Scott Rowland for Philly.
Mm-hmm. Scott Rowland.
Mm-hmm.
Bang.
And then Javi Baez, the Cubs Silver Slugger.
Bang. Silver Slugger and the White Sox? Are we going to go?
You know what really was so stupid? Baez has been so bad on the Tigers. Why would he have won the...
Yeah. He's been terrible with the Tigers. But Granderson, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Silver Slugger, White Sox, freaking, what's his name? Jose Abreu?
Or Jermaine... Oh, no, both do Konerko.
Konergo.
Okay.
Konergo.
How would he not want to... Well, you think you want to do another one?
Oh, was it Jose? If Jose Abreu...
It definitely was. Yeah, he definitely did. Fuck. Konerko had so many good seasons. So did Jermaine Dye. But just do another one real quick.
Oh, my God. It's such a good one,
I know,
dude.
but it's bullshit. Konerko, I mean, he had 40 home runs a couple times.
So he wasn't a Silver Slugger. That was one from 422. Now we go to 421, dude. Oh, my gosh. Give me a Mets column, for Christ's sake, dude.
Okay.
Tampa Bay and Washington.
Jimmy Rollins, MVP for Phillies. 21%. MVP for the Blue Jays, Josh Donaldson.
That's so funny. I mean, let's go, dude.
Hey, Soto. Oh, no. Harper for... did Harper win MVP for the Nats? Or Guerrero for the Expos?
Oh, does that count?
Yeah, it would count, but did he?
I don't know. I don't know.
Soto Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Soto. That's a Come on.
That's Harper. That's what it was.
Fuck, dude.
We got to do it.
I mean, at this point, we have to do it.
Stare all day if we have to.
Damn it. Where am I? Got to scroll down. I'm getting pissed off. 422. Still no Mets column. Dodgers, Pirates.
Okay. And then Cy Young's. Okay, so
Kershaw.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to?
No, just trying to think if there was somebody. Koufax?
Sandy?
Yeah.
I mean, don't you think that would be? I'm sure Kershaw will be number one, right?
Yeah. 20%. And then
Milwaukee Cy Young.
Milwaukee is a tough one.
Burns.
Did Burns win the Cy Young?
And then White Sox Cy Young. This is brutal.
Yeah, it is. The one day that Ernie's not available. All right, go back to this. Let's just
Yeah.
Silver Slugger for the Brewers.
Yelich.
I was just trying to think. Do Ryan Braun.
Ryan Braun.
28%. Dodgers Silver Slugger.
Freeman.
Kemp.
Adrian. Tony.
Matthew.
Bang.
9%. Silver Slugger for the White Sox. Do die.
You sure?
Yeah.
Was it Brady?
No, just do die. He got it.
Die.
Yep. Jermaine Die. DYE.
DYE. Jermaine, dude. All right.
Told you.
Percent, dude.
Sheets didn't win the Cy Young, right? And then shit, this is gonna be tough.
Oh my god, dude. Ernie.
Come on, Ernie. Like, we're just trying to complete a grid for the day. We need you to just finish for us. Come on, Ernie. Pirates wasn't Liriano. I just did. Who was the name? Oh, you said Burns. Did Burns win the Cy Young? Just go with him.
I mean, if we're losing this one,
it's over.
It's
over. Yeah. But right, I mean, I don't know who else we would even.
Nervous. Ernie's not going to say anything.
Oh, 69% though.
Thank you very much. This is one though.
Yeah, it is. But the White Sox though, who the hell? White Sox just have such a weird history.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like recently, what?
And the Dodgers Pirates.
Rolly fingers.
That's what we said for the
Rolly
Brewers.
fingers. Yeah, that's all right.
The White Sox did. One of those like pitching guys with Shoeless Joe Jackson, though.
I have no idea.
And who was like the team that won the World Series besides Mark Burley? Because I know Mark Burley didn't win the Cy Young, but did Chris Sale win the Cy Young?
I would guess yes.
Just go with Sale. It's probably going to be 100% if he
Sox Cy Young, Jack McDowell. He says
Jack McDowell, do it.
That's got an old timey name.
Yeah,
87, 99, 66.
Yeah, so they just don't have a lot of Cy Youngs. And then the Dodgers.
Look at the teams here. So Dodgers, Pirates.
Was Betterment on the Pirates? Yeah, I swear this is one of the hardest ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee.
Miguel Andujar wasn't on the White Sox now. Come on, Ernie. I'm really disappointed in myself here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, me too.
Juan Uribe. I don't know why Pirates. It feels like there's not a lot of guys. Was Jason Kendall on the Brewers? And I feel like I'm just struggling with like players that the Pirates had before. Like who was on those teams with McCutcheon?
Yeah.
Relievers for the Pirates. Mitch Keller hasn't gone anywhere. I don't know why it's like Betterment. The White Sox. I think it's the Pirates is the problem. I feel like I just
Pirates
don't know
is the problem, dude.
Many Pirates. Adam Frazier.
Bobby Bonilla, Dodgers, Pirates.
Okay.
There we go. Oh. Bobby Bonilla. There we go.
Adam Frazier. Was he on the White Sox?
I'm trying to think. I feel like yes.
but
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't know for sure either. McCutcheon wasn't on the Brewers, right?
I don't think so.
Where else? Rasmus Ramirez was on the Brewers.
Ramirez,
I think. Just do it. I mean, if we're wrong, whatever. We can't keep doing it to ourselves. Yep. Okay. So what? What's Adam Frazier, White Sox?
Melky, Sox, Pirates.
There we go. And just get out of here.
Melky, really?
Yep.
Melky Cabrera.
Yep.
Bang. 2%er. 211.
We did it. We're done.
Get the fuck out, dude.
Yankees
Get out.
won 9-7
Get out,
yesterday
dude.
against the Orioles. I saw the Mets won like 10-something.
That's right, dude.
Will Warren,
Terren's
little
killing it.
Hammered.
Could die.
Did give up 2 home runs.
Thank you, Ernie.
Still had a great spring. Nevertheless, Jazz going deep. Volpe going deep.
No one cares about Jazz.
Everybody loves Jazz except Riley Sousa. But
dude, that is so funny. Him and the Red Sox right now.
Yeah,
really
it's like
is.
just take it. I mean, it's talking about just putting the cart in front of the horse.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
And then night game tonight, 6:05 against the Tigers. I don't even think we have, or I guess ESPN never has the problem.
No, they don't ever. I'm trying to check for the Mets here tonight.
And I saw Soto's brother got in the 9th inning wearing Soto's jersey.
So sick, dude.
So crazy. And then you're gonna have Carlos
You wish he was
Rodon
the Yankees still
on the bump against Montero. And I believe that's Keter Montero. We do have a Yankee lineup out, which is surprising.
There we go.
Wells, Rice, Reyes, Grisham, Smith, Cabrera, Peraza, Mungaya, and Andrew Velasquez. So that is going to be a 6:05 game, and it's on the Fan. So a chance to hear a new Yankee, voice of the Yankees on the radio, Dave Sims, along with Susan Waldman. Anything for the Mets, Tony?
For today, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Gotham Sports app, by the way.
Gotham Sports app, dude. Rangers aren't on it. Don't even worry about it, dude. Yes, we do have a matchup against St. Louis, I believe. I was just checking to see if the lineups are out. I know Clay Holmes will be on the bump. Who will be on the bump for? It is St. Louis, 110 game. Should have the lineups out. And we do, dude. Looks like leading off, you'll see Brendan Nimmo starting in left, Marte in right in the 2 spot. Alonso DHing, Vientos batting cleanup and starting at first, which is nice there. Brett Beatty getting the start at third here. We've been seeing him start at second base for, I feel like, a while now, so he's back at third. Taylor will be starting center. Walton getting the start at second base. Batting behind him will be Ronald Acuna. No, Luis Angel Acuna at short. And then Senger, the 27-year-old, I think he may be older than that, getting the start at the catching position. Eric Terrenz gets the night off, which is fine, though. But Clay Holmes, obviously, who's going to be your opening day starter. Whatchamacallit, is going to be looking to continue to, honestly, woe the fans here. As he does get ready for his opening day start, which I am pumped about that he did get that start. I mean, I hopefully he will rise to the occasion as I think he has deserved it. So yeah, dude, I mean, it should be nice, I guess, to go out there. Hopefully, I think the Mets last night had 13, 14 hits as a team, scored 10 runs. Hopefully, you can pull some of that more together. I believe, I guess it doesn't really matter because Lindor was not starting today, but he was hitless last night. But hopefully, maybe you can see Alonso flex some muscles here in the DH position. So let's go, dude.
And per Julian Guilarte, who I believe covers the Somerset Patriots and does a lot of Yankee stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Says Carlos Mendoza said he expects Clay Holmes to empty the tank today. Look for 5 to 6 pitches. 5 to 6 innings, 75 to 80 pitches.
Really, dude?
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see if he has any. I mean, you almost want him to kind of get roughed up a little bit because I feel like it's been so perfect so far this spring that kind of get that adversity before. No, I'm serious. Before we get
I know you're
rather
serious.
than walk the bases loaded
I know you're
first
serious.
inning.
I mean, I don't know if that would
through it though.
No, yeah,
not hammered, but maybe give up a couple of runs, give up a couple of hits, have base runners.
Yeah, no, I think that for sure. And I mean, there's been a couple times this spring training where he has given up hits. I mean, he does have a couple, 1.29 ERA right now. His last start out, I believe he gave up 2 runs.
Yeah.
So he's been in those situations a couple times, and yeah, I think it will hurt. Maybe lead off batters, single, whatever, still down, get out of the inning. I think that will help him, but I mean, I think it is important for him to still have confidence as Pot Geeter birdies to fall to 2 over par here, tied for 75th.
Would he rise if he birdied?
Well, I mean, yeah, true, but he's still 2 over, so
Move up to 2 over.
I mean, technically, you're going down in score, so you're falling in score from 3 over to 3 over.
It depends
to
on
2 over.
tomato, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I guess you could say Will Zalatoris pars to remain at 1 under.
How about Victor Hovland lurking, Tony? 300 through 10, 2 back of Lowry.
Yeah, no, yeah. So is Steven Yeager also lurking. Get the tee off today. I didn't pick him as my sleeper. It doesn't really matter. But yes, dude, it's important for Clay Holmes, I think, to have confidence going into this opening day, though. Yes, maybe roughed up a little bit, but I still want him to be leaving this start, maybe with a lead, feeling good about himself, a couple Ks under his belt. So let's go, Clay Holmes. Okay, get the jersey.
Okay,
get the jersey.
Up. More confidence in 6 strong from Holmes opening day. No runs, or the Soto brushback pitch first at bat in the stadium. I forgot to ask Gino that. I should have.
Oh my God! Give me Clay Holmes. More confidence. 6
It's
easy.
amazing how defensive you are of the brushback pitch with Soto.
Because I don't think other players are thinking it. To be honest, I really don't think anyone on the Yankees is thinking brushback pitches.
I don't know, but you're telling me that wouldn't be something internal that wouldn't get out, and it's like we welcomed you with open arms. And all seriously, you're gonna laugh. It's fine. Last year in our clubhouse, and you kind of shit on us in the offseason.
I think
showed us no respect, didn't answer our calls. Don't tell me that stuff's not true. I'm just saying, it's like getting stood up on the first date.
Perhaps, but if anything, I could see maybe the egregious ball that's so behind the back that it's funny and they laugh it off and it's ball 1. And
why does Why does it have to be so copacetic? Just because Soto's on your team and he didn't do it to your team?
It's because they're professional ball players. I think for the fans, yes, they're tight. They want the brush back, but will the players do that? Probably not. Come on.
If Sabathia was on the team, you're telling me he wouldn't do it?
Maybe while he was still drinking, sure.
He wasn't drinking at the end when he threw at that guy. He was sober then, and he gave up his bonus and then ended up getting it anyway.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. But that's a different scenario, okay, dude? Soto, it's one thing if Soto 2 went out there and said, yeah, man, the Yankees suck or something. That clubhouse stunk. I hated playing there. Then you'll see some animosity, maybe.
Not answering calls, though.
Not answering calls.
The Mets have, he wants to win. That's why he went to the Mets. He definitely said some offensive things, Tony. Just saying.
Do you think that the Yankee clubhouse, they're all on the same page, though? You think they're all talking about this?
I think they would never say anything publicly, but behind closed doors, they're we want to tell him to shove it.
Really?
Basically. Yes. I mean, the fact that he's changing his phone number, Tony, you don't think that's a teammate. You're going to battle with 162. You go to the World Series, and then he just goes dark on you and doesn't show you any type of
changes your phone?
Yeah.
Changes phone number?
Yeah. You didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah. That was the thing.
Come on.
I just think
change his phone number.
Yes. I'm not kidding. It's you could look it up.
I will look it up. Juan Soto changed his phone number. He's been brought about outside calls during his free agency and wanted privacy.
Right.
Soto is now reaching out to former Yankee teammates.
Everybody said they haven't talked to him. Maybe Judge talked to him.
This is from Bob Nightingale.
He's an alcoholic.
Oh my gosh, dude! Come on.
He's just such a chief. Really
well, you know what, dude? Maybe if everyone on the Yankee squad wasn't so freaking needy, he would have to change his number, dude.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sure that's what it was.
I mean, clearly it was bothering him. So what the hell, dude?
No, wait. Look at the last couple of comments after Ernie.
Oh my gosh.
And then we want Donnelly.
Donnelly have also a great weekend as well.
I mean, if I go fucking a little over the top of Dave Simpson, he can't even do 3 spring training games, and he wants him out. Doesn't have the energy of the voice. I've never you want to I know certain people that are stuck in their ways, but I don't know if I've ever quite seen something like this. Doc has to be announcing forever from his grave. Doc will still be announcing. Nance has to go for another 50 years, and John Sterling needs to be the Yankees radio announcer.
You know what?
He's 107.
Let's get Buck on the call. How about that, dude? Yeah. We'll sit him down and just announce a game, Michael, and then we'll see who has the energy and the voice.
Yeah.
Bang, dude. Justin Thomas tied for 61st.
Disappointing after that course record.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Lowry so dropping a shot, by the way. So
really,
1 shot lead now.
But isn't he going up in score?
Come on.
Come on, dude.
Bogeying number 2, started on the back, and it had such a great front 9, Tony, with 6 birdies. And also Jordan Spieth, I think, impressive after a 74 yesterday, 5 under through 12, and is 2 under overall for the tournament. See the gala even through 11, shot 69 yesterday. A little snack there?
Yeah, a little snack.
Starving?
No. Cough drop.
Cough drop.
Gotcha.
But I guess, do you have energy
I am hungry, though.
to go over quickly the debacle last night?
Yeah, you want to go to the world?
The world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rink Washington made the full split save.
Are you kidding me? Turn, side of the net, between the legs, and they score! Filthy! David Pasternak,
The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right. So a tough one at Madison Square Garden last night. The Rangers falling again, 4-3 to the Maple Leafs. I'm trying to think, Tony. Is it 5 of their last 6 that they've lost at this point?
That sounds about right.
And I was watching the NCAA tournament, almost forgot, honestly, that they were playing last night. And after being at that Flames game, that was it for me. That was it. That was the nail in the coffin. And it seems like it's really, what is it? 7 out of 9, right?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, 7 out of 9.
7 out of 9, dude.
But yeah,
losses.
That was a proverbial nail in the coffin for me. I think it's over. It's almost like I can't even talk about it, Tony. It's so frustrating.
It doesn't even matter like who. Yeah. Obviously Toronto, great team, but it's just like you're running into the same problems every freaking time. How many times are we gonna have Tavares or Knies or whatever his name is just open in the middle of the ice in front of Igor? There's not much you can really do with when you're making stupid mistakes like that, dude. And it's stupid. It really is, because it was a hard fought game. It really was, dude. You had the Rangers score late in the first period to try and tie it up. Obviously, give it the score. They give it right back.
Right.
Seconds later, as the period is ending, because they play bad defense. But it is because of that bad defense that we've been bashing the Rangers all freaking season for their lack of play. You said it, 7 losses in the last 9 games, dude. These were the biggest 9 games of the season. These were supposed to be the 9 games where you were turning things around, just finding a way to click, because you had, the wild card, within your grasp. And, it's sad because it kind of is still. So, obviously it doesn't really bode well that both teams ahead of you who are in the wild card spot have played 2 less games than you. But imagine if you did play well, you could be in the wild card spot with 2 games, obviously other teams have a hand on you, but you could just be in a better position. Instead, you're not, dude. And I don't care if, upcoming games you'll be playing the Islanders or maybe poorer teams or whatever, dude, or teams that are kind of somewhat out of it. Nothing has been indicative of you winning any games. Okay. 7 losses of the last 9. I can't really stress that enough. It's been so disappointing. And I just really don't understand, because it's like you are finding ways to score. You are getting, pucks past Anthony Stolarz, who has had a good year, who is a big body, who does play well for Toronto. You are finding ways past their defense, a Toronto team who looks like they are going to make the playoffs, but they're looking like, they're trying to make a run in the playoffs, They have such tremendous talent on that team offensively. You would think they would figure out ways to stop players like Tavares and Matthews and Nylander from making plays and having, shots on goal and challenging you or whatnot. But they're just not doing that, dude. They're still making those stupid mistakes, turning pucks over in your own zone, allowing Toronto to have opportunities in your zone via turnovers, in your zone via, deflected shots or whatever, or losing those battles in front of the net. It's not good. It is a very sad state of affairs over there for the Rangers organization. And it's tough. Rick and Dave were talking about it during the show even yesterday, and it's like, what do? Do you kind of, or even whatchamacallit, Don was talking about it because during the Don and Han show, they had callers calling in yesterday or 2 days ago, asking for Drury's job, asking for Laviolette's job. And it's like, Don's like, how many coaches are you going to go through? Until it's like, until it freaking works, dude. I mean, like some of this has to be on Laviolette. He is the guy in charge here. He is behind the bench. And, how many more times are you going to have mistakes being made over and over and over again? And either you're not addressing them or they're just not being fixed, whether it be a lack of execution from your players, or a lack of strategy or lack of an authoritarian figure from your coach. And it's just like, something like, the buck has to stop somewhere, you got to have someone accountable. And yes, it is going to be the players. It is the coach. Is it so much of Drury? Maybe not. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, I mean, you got to figure things out. And it's like, as a fan, you're trying to remain positive. You look at the game on tomorrow, 1:00 game against Vancouver. And it's like, oh, yeah, Vancouver's been in shambles this year. You got, I want to say, is this the first time with JT you're playing Vancouver? You're in Vancouver as well. Wait, no, you're not. You're at home. My mistake. But in any case, I mean, let's look at how Vancouver's been playing right now. And they are, still clamoring for a wild card spot on their own. I know they did win a couple nights ago. Was it against Winnipeg? It was against Winnipeg. They beat Winnipeg 6-2, one of the best teams in the league. They just lost to St. Louis 4-3 in overtime. St. Louis, a team who probably, I think, is with that win in the wild card spot for the West. Let's double check here. St. Louis is in there, 77 points, and you do have Vancouver, who's on the outside looking in right now, but the first team out of the wild card with 76 points, 1 point behind St. Louis. Doesn't seem like anyone's going to be catching Minnesota, and they do have a game in hand here. So Vancouver, who's 5-4-1 in their last 10 games, which is obviously better than the Rangers, who were 3-5-2, right, in their last 10. Rangers on a 3-game losing streak. I don't know, man. I mean, yes, they could turn it around. Yes, you should win here. But again, I've been using that light in front of the tunnel euphemism. But oh boy, dude, it's looking pretty freaking dim, and I really don't care. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Vancouver comes into the Garden and beats us. These games that we've been losing have been at the Garden as well. So last night against Toronto, against Edmonton. I mean, doesn't look good, dude. Doesn't look good at all. So again, you try to remain positive here. Shane Lowry teeing off here.
I feel like he's pretty positive, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, even though he did bogey, he's now down to 5 under.
Still a one-shot lead, right?
He's still a one-shot lead, dude. So that's what you want. Yeah, that's it, dude. It's over. Forget it.
Did Michael Bucket say he was going to call in?
No, why? I'll call in soon. We don't have time for that. Hang tight. Also, that was 10 minutes ago, Michael. Like, soon as would have the call already happened, dude.
Wait for Barnes. I mean, it's just like, sometimes we have to get adjusted to these new announcers, Tony. Just like Rosen. Like, if Michael Bucket was a Rangers fan, he would have a tough time next year if Kenny's on the call. I mean, do you think you'll have a tough time?
Absolutely. I mean, Sam Rosen, dude. Grew up listening to him. No one else.
And they haven't made an announcement, but is Kenny the guy or
I guess.
I feel like you're not like.
Again, like you said, it's just going to be an adjustment period. Kenny's good.
LaGreca?
I've heard Kenny
if
before.
If he was willing,
I would vote for Don.
That would be nuts. Him on TV.
I forget who the hell does it on the radio with him. I forget his name right now.
Oh yeah.
I know. It's in my tongue right now, dude. It's just one of these fucking
Dave Maloney.
Dave Maloney.
Yes.
I'm sorry. He's not good.
Hammered, maybe.
I think something, dude. And I feel like I don't know if he has a lot going on, what else he does in life, but it's always like, just seems like he's just rushing to get on air, rushing to get off, and he's stammering. And I feel bad for Don sometimes because Don does a great job. Yeah. You talk about Michael Buckta, energy, the voice, he's got it. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's where they are and who's choosing what exactly, but I think Don should at least be considered, dude. He's great. I don't think he would do it though. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But it's just it would be nice, but it seems like it's a Kenny thing. I just don't know if it'll be a big packed schedule for him. But I guess he's doing most of the radio games anyway, right? What's the difference?
Don?
No,
Kenny?
Kenny.
Yeah.
So yeah, Don kind of seems like more of a radio guy.
Mhm.
But at this point, I mean, are you fire everybody? I mean, is that where we're at, or
That's what I was really saying, I guess. I mean, again, I mean, if they don't make the playoffs, which, it's crazy to think that they still can, you do have to. Like, you have to, right? There's no way. You can't have a team that is so good on paper, has all this talent, President's Trophy last year, just falls flat on their face this year, which with like head-scratching problems,
Right. But don't you think it's more? I mean, I still want to fire both guys, but don't you think it's more on Drury? Because I just go back to like the inactivity in the offseason, honestly.
If you're blaming management, I would blame Drury and Laviolette equally, to be honest, dude.
Yeah, who were you though? I'm just thinking, like, if this was the roster, going into the season, who is supposed to be the guy leading us to the Stanley Cup this year? Who was supposed to be the guy?
I mean, outright leader, I mean, it's tough because obviously last year you think of all the contributing factors. I mean, everyone was somewhere around the same, I guess, but you would think Artemi Panarin would be the name that pops off the page, especially the start to his year that he had was so just electric that you kind of thought this guy was taking us to the promised land. This would have been the year, dude, where he does figure out in the playoffs. He does keep the scoring going from the regular season, kind of pick up what he couldn't do last year in the postseason, That would have been my guess. But of course, I still expected, Kreider to have, 40 goals, dude. Mika to have 75 points, I expected to have Trouba to honestly be a better captain and to still be sitting here playing great defense for us right now down the stretch of the season. That's what I expected.
But now, I mean, would you say, I don't think it matters what coach or general manager we bring in. I just feel like Artemi is a number 2.
I mean, he definitely hasn't proven to be a number 1 player right now, right?
Yeah.
So, but he still can be. I think he can be.
I mean, I guess if the surrounding pieces are really improved upon, I just feel like we're in such a conundrum because Kreider's salary, Mika's salary, right? Like, it's like, aren't our hands tied? I mean, there's going to be a lot of retainment to get rid of those guys.
Yeah, no, exactly, dude. I mean, and not that you're getting rid of Fox, but he's got a big salary for a defenseman, I mean,
at least I feel okay betting on the bounce back with Fox because he's shown over his career, solid defender, contributes offensively.
Yeah, which is great. You need that. But you also need better defensemen around him, dude. Like, again, Keandre Miller getting beat in the boards. Kanais, whatever that guy's name is in Toronto, wide open in front of the net, and Miller's just trailing behind him. And it's just like that happens far too often with him. And it's like, yes, Miller will make good plays during the season where he does lay a big hit or he does have, he does recognize a play where he can jump in offensively and contribute that way. But it's just few and far between here, man. Like I need some consistently good defense, dude. You have great defenders out there that are making phenomenal plays for other teams. Just seems like no one on the Rangers is doing that,
Yeah. No, I agree. So, unfortunately, it seems like it's going to be a long off season ahead. That's for sure. But I think just for the hell of it, Tony, just a quick 2-gamer on the way out.
Oh, yeah, we got it, dude.
Because you got the Rangers tomorrow, 1 game tonight, Friday edition, Frozen Frenzy.
Absolutely, dude. And this Frozen Frenzy here is sponsored by the Hirsch Law Firm. I know Joey Greenwood loves that, dude. But let's get started here. You mentioned the Friday slate, which is short. 1 game, dude. Mike Sullivan and Pittsburgh Penguins, dude. The Penguins here at home taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. I mean, listen, Blue Jackets, I guess, in terms of their standing, they are also on the outside looking. They're a point behind the Rangers now. Obviously, Penguins far out of it, so I guess let's go Pens here. But they're going to be coming into this game at home, -125. You have Columbus +105 on the money line. It's interesting to see what they can put together. Over-under is 6.5. Columbus leads this regular season series 2-0 right now. But they are on like a 5-game losing streak right now. Penguins have won 4 of their last 5. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Penguins. I just feel like end of the year, this is what they do. When it doesn't matter. So I think Crosby a little jealous too of Ovechkin, maybe.
Oh,
so maybe he has something to say. Maybe he has 4 points tonight. Penguins 5-3. Penguins in the over.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I mean, I think Blue Jackets maybe getting brought back down to earth a little bit here. They've been, kind of achieving all year long. So I know it doesn't really matter for the Penguins. Like you said, I think Crosby make a statement here. Goal and assist maybe for him. Penguins move on to win this game 4-2. Nice and clean. Next game, we're doing the Rangers game Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. It's a day later, so all of the odds there on ESPN Bet are not out. But the Rangers hosting the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver on the outside looking into St. Louis right now for the West wildcard spot. So they're playing for a playoff position just like the Rangers are. And let me tell you, they've been winning some games here. They've won 3 of the last 5, beating a team like Winnipeg in regulation 6-2. Boy, you got to appreciate that ferocity by a team who's clamoring for the playoffs. The Rangers on the 3-game losing streak, the opposite end here, finishing off their home tour of Canada. What do you got for the boys here in blue?
I think the Canucks, honestly. I'm done being optimistic. I can see Quinn Hughes maybe auditioning to be on the Rangers next season, which we would welcome, honestly. So I think at this point, we want everybody out. We don't want to go to the playoffs. We just want to lose some more. Quinn Hughes, Tony, 5 points, 2 goals, 3 assists. I'm going to say a Broadway beatdown of the home team here. I'm going to say Canucks 5-0. Canucks in the under.
I don't know, bro. I can't wave the white flag yet. All right. It ain't over until it's over, dude. Not in my prediction, okay, dude. Give me the Rangers at home against Vancouver. I mean, how do you not say JT Miller, Hattie Boom Batty against his former team? The locker room, he's tight. Give me the hat trick. Give me 8 hits, okay, on this 8 hits, dude, on a sunny Saturday afternoon at the Garden. Rangers move on to win this one 4-1 on the back of Igor. Igor, you know what? Give me 4-0, okay? Igor with the shutout. He needs it, deserves it. Give me some type of ampage going into your next games, hopefully getting into a playoff spot. Rangers and the under here, 4-0.
And just like that is your frozen frenzy as we head into the weekend. March Madness upon us. A whole slew of games about to start in less than 25 minutes. So we're amped up for that. Amped up for Sunday.
That's right, dude. The horseshoe. Speaking of March Madness, Shane Lowry hoisting.
Shane Lowry potentially hoisting. But I have to say, I feel like this week just completely flew by. Obviously, go Yukin. But looking forward to that game later. But we really appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume, the merch at DowntimeTV.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, go Yukin, and we will see you on Sunday.
Let's go Raiders!
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.